So as you can see from that point of view there, there's a crack here, and then it goes up in here. So I'm gonna take my blade, my diamond blade, and basically just cut all that out. As you can see, there's a little bit up there too. Cut that out, cut this out, cut that out. And then there's another one right here. I'm gonna cut that out, and then we're gonna fill that up with mortar, just so that we can keep the little critters out. There's a tiny one there. I'll do that too. With the cold winters, warm, hot summers, this tends to happen. Just a little maintenance though. If you see this in your house, if you have brick, take care of it right away, because if not, then this turns into bigger issues. You can have water seepage, ants, spiders, all kinds of stuff crawling in your house. And if you let it go too long, you can actually start seeing brick deteriorate. So take care of it as soon as possible. I'll show you the tools and equipment that I'll be using. All right, so since this is going to be a very dusty job, you want to make sure that you have some eye protection. This is just a filter. I am outside, so I'm not too worried. If I was inside, I'd probably get a respirator, but I'm outside, so this will suffice. And this is the diamond blade. It's especially for brick and mortar. So I'll be using this to grind out the mortar, the old mortar. And then we have our trusty grinder. This is a Ryobi. If I was a professional, I'd probably get something a lot better, a lot heavier duty. But since I really don't use this too often, I don't go out and spend boku bucks, tons of money on tools that is not part of my profession. This grinder specifically cost maybe like 50 bucks. So it does the job. I've had it for quite some time. So yeah, it's really no big deal. You don't have to go get the best if you're not going to use it every day. All right, so I'm going to put the blade on the grinder, get started, and I'll show you guys that in a little bit. So again, always have a mask on, safety glasses, and here we go. All right, so everywhere I saw a crack, I made it bigger and I grinded out the old mortar. So now we go mix up a new mortar. I'm gonna get a broom real quick, try to clean out the joints as best as I can. That should be good enough, but I think I'm gonna get my air compressor and just blow out the mortar joints with compressed air. So let me do that. We'll move on to mixing the mortar mix, and I'll show you guys how to put that on. For our project today, need a small bucket. I've already put the mortar mix. I put about half a bag. This is what I'm using. Quickcrete mortar mix. This is a 10-pound bag. I had to replace a brick already in the back of the house, which I already did. The stuff works great. All you have to do is just add water. You want to make sure that when you use mortar mix or mortar, it has to say that it goes between the bricks, blocks, whatever. You can use concrete, but the problem with concrete is that it shrinks, and concrete can actually make the cracks worse. So you don't want to put straight concrete between your bricks. You want to make sure that you use a mortar or mortar mix. Again, it's a little 10-pound bag, real convenient. So all I have to do is add water to the bucket, mix it around. It's a little baby trowel that I used, and I'm going to use a little piece of wood to help force the mortar between the brick, and you'll see how I do that in a second. So this is about the consistency that you want your mortar mix. You want it to be a little firm, but moldable. It's a little firm, so when it goes in that joint, it's gonna stay in there. All right, let's get to the work site. Okay, I got my mortar mix ready to go. So what I've done now, I couldn't find a piece of wood, but I found this brush, and I think it's gonna fit just perfect. And it's gonna allow me to push the mortar into the joints and leave a good final smooth finish. Is I'm gonna put some mortar mix on my trowel upside down, get it close to the joint, and then with the brush, I'm gonna push it in there. So that's what I'm gonna attempt to do. To get it there, take my brush, slowly push it in there. And as I'm pushing, I want to move the trowel away. See that? Now if a little bit falls, that's okay. That's why I made extra. I also have a blanket down on my landscaping. And then what we do is we just push it to the edge, get it up close, and fill it. Just stuff it as much as you can. As you stuff it, move it. There you go. Now again, I'm not a mason, but if you want to leave some comments, if you want to let me know a better way, better technique, if you know one, I would appreciate it. These are just little home repairs. This project right here makes a lot of people nervous, and you know, if you want to get out in a nice weather like today and work on the house a little bit, this is a small project that you can do. Get that joint right there and across. There we go. Look at that. Nice. Now, this has a dual purpose. Since it is a brush, you can just lightly brush away and come back with the end. Alright, now we know it's stuffed in there. Some more mortar. Let's go up here. It looks like we're dropping a lot, and that's okay, because we have enough mix. But just adjust so that you don't drop all of it. So you can either work forward, backwards, whatever works for you. Just remember, just try to stuff that joint with as much as you can. Some more. Next one. feel that it's easier for you to use your finger, go ahead, use your finger. Just stuff it in there as much as you can. Whatever way works best for you, go ahead and do it. I know there's probably a professional right now laughing. That's okay, as long as I can bring a smile to your face and entertain you, then I'm doing my job. And maybe if you didn't charge so much as a professional, you could come over and help me do it the right way. But since you charge so much, I'm gonna do it myself, and you can laugh all you want. How about that? That's what I love about YouTube. You can always find something useful, something helpful, some advice. To my subscribers out there, if there's anything that you do well, I encourage you, throw it on YouTube. There's enough garbage on YouTube. I should say there's enough things that aren't really important anyway. So if you can contribute, help your fellow man out, teach him something, go for it. Look at that. See? Just a little bit of time. That's all it takes. And I haven't laid brick. It's not my profession. It's not what I do for a living. But being a homeowner, you gotta sometimes learn how to do stuff yourself. So I'm gonna try to leave it pretty. Hopefully it's right. I know it's right. What am I talking about? Different methods. Again, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Hey, maybe you can afford to have a tuck pointer at your house. Great. But at least now you know what he should be doing, or at least now you know what tuck pointing means. Alright, so you guys get the gist. Probably gonna stop rolling the camera now. It's just more of the same thing. Go check out your brick around your house if you have a brick home. Go see if there's maybe some work you can do. Like I said, it's not expensive. You don't have to get the best tools. You know, just get the tools that'll help you do the job. Here's the final product. I'm gonna get the broom wet and go over it with some water, kind of scrubbing the brick, but I'm gonna try not to pull out what I put in. So as you can tell, it looks pretty good now. This is what I used again. I used the end of a brush, and then I came back and just brushed off the excess. Well, there it is. That's how it's done. So right now I'm trying not to go on the joint. What I'm trying to do is just hit the brick. So we'll leave it like that. We'll let it dry. All right, YouTube world. This is your boy Jay Handy. Thanks again for watching. You know what to do. Hit them buttons, leave them comments, and I'll see you in the next video.